we're going to walk through the 6 peptide protocols that we have currently. I'm going to look at the functionality behind them, what their purpose is, and how you can go about really looking into them yourself and what might be appealing to you specifically. Also, feel free to stop at any point if you have any questions. So briefly, what we'll go over is who we are at Longevity Plan, the 6 plans like I just mentioned, how to choose, and what's included in every plan. So with Longevity Plan, this isn't just a supplement shop. This is a curated and bespoke private wellness club. We focus on helping you one-to-one from all sides of this, whether that's just peptide support or whether you're looking for more kind of one-on-one bespoke nutrition support, sleep support, training support, whatever it might be to get you to reach your goals. That's what we're here to do. So about us, how we wanted to, be different from a lot of the kind of things that you might see online with the emergence of peptides and obviously gaining popularity. And we want to make sure that there's a real focus on authenticity, on reliability, and making sure that everything is incredibly well sourced and well supported. So we work with some US licensed physicians. Everything that is produced by us is compounded at a US regulated pharmacy at the clinical level. With all of our peptides, there is an extra package of wearables, of digital twins, and different methods to track all of your different kind of data that is going to be related to the wearable, to the peptides, and to your personal training plan as well.
And I'll add right there, we've just decided to send out Fitbit Airs, the new Fitbit that came out, to all of our plan purchasers. So if you don't have a wearable, we'd like you to have one. So we'll buy one for you, and then you can connect to our platform, and our coaches, including me, can monitor your progress, help you along, talk about some things that might be anomalies, because with some peptides, some of your biometrics will be different, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. So we find it fascinating to get into the science and want to help you really be engaged in the program. So yeah, let us know if you decided to join. Let us know if you have a wearable that you'd like to use, or if you'd like a new Fitbit Air.
And another kind of angle and question about this is, how can we guarantee to offer you such positive and strong one-to-one support? How can we make sure you stay in the loop and you're getting the adequate kind of focus that you deserve? Well, we work with a team of 15 plus, closer to 20 Olympic level coaches and physicians. You can find them on the schedule, a little bit like you saw today on LinkedIn. You have much more focused sessions on different sports, different techniques, and different practices you can do to kind of get yourself in the best position possible. And obviously, if you decide to join and become a member, you get access to these coaches, on a one-to-one level as well. Okay, and we're so confident about the effect and power of these peptides that it's a complete money-back guarantee if nothing works. And it's a 90-day program at first, which is designed to really get you in the best possible position.
Sure. Can I ask a question real quick?
Please.
I'm still learning about peptides. And when we talk about peptides, I've heard many people saying, "Oh, most of these peptides are not, medically approved and or FDA approved or whatever." So, can you just talk about it a little bit more?
Yeah, I can take that one, Ben. All of the peptides we offer through the 503A pharmacy. So everything you'll see on our website is FDA approved, and it'll be prescribed by a US-based physician. So there are many peptides that are not FDA approved and that are research purposes only. We don't have those on our website at all right now, and there's probably 100 different ones. But FDA approved, there's probably about 20, and we offer those 20 here. The clinical science on a lot of them is really deep. Tirzepatide, semaglutide, tesamorelin, some ones we really recommend, are really strong. But the reputation comes from the ones the influencers are promoting that, some of them may be good. I think some of them are good, actually, but they're just not FDA approved yet. But yeah, you don't have to worry about that with us.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. So like I mentioned earlier, there's 6 plans, and each plan is kind of designed for a specific biological target. And we're going to go into each of these in depth, but you have a little overview here. So beauty and skin is the first package. Metabolic reset and fat loss is the second. Third is injury, recovery, and prevention. Fourth is more focused on mental clarity and focus. Fifth is about inflammation. And the sixth is kind of a special bundle that Tony himself uses. It's really a best of everything compiled. So we'll get into these in some more detail. The first one, beauty and skin, involves some of the...
What are your particular goals, or what are you most interested in?
Me?
Yeah.
So, okay, I'll tell you a short version of my story. So I would say at the moment, the most thing, when I saw your ad in LinkedIn, right? So I was like, okay, I want to learn more about peptides. So I'm a chemical engineer. I work for the chemical industry. However, I do, because of my wife and I had struggled with infertility for many, many years. And through that journey, I ended up getting a second master's degree in nutrition. So anything that comes to health and longevity and nutrition and fertility, even it draws my attention to, right? So when I saw about it, and I've been following you for quite some time, and I trust the content that you put on LinkedIn and some other platforms. So I was like, I just want to learn more about it and see what's out there that I have not spent enough time to fully understand the new peptide world that's out there, right? So I would say right now, to give you more insight into our fertility journey, we had 3 losses many years ago. Then eventually I found professionals that were able to support us, and we were able to conceive naturally. And we have a 4-year-old daughter now, which is, our joy. But now after that, for a second kid, we had more losses. And right now I'm trying to optimize my health to the best I can. I'm 45 now, and things change when you get a little older, right? So that's what I'm trying to do. I need to optimize my health to be able to do my part on the half of the equation. I want to do my part to make sure that everything is good with me for possibly one last try, right? So.
Oh, great. Well, congrats. And that's great. You're up for one last try. I can talk to you after about some specific fertility related peptides. Some that we're planning on offering soon. And I've even tried it myself. And yeah, but we'll talk later. Hi, Jamie.
Hey, Jamie, thanks for joining. No worries if you don't have access to a mic right now. If you want to unmute and chip in at any time, please feel free to ask any questions, to get you up to speed with just kind of running through the peptide packages that we have at Longevity Plan, to kind of talk through our initial launch and how we're approaching this. So going through our 6 specific peptide plans right now.
Okay, thank you. I'm at work, so I'm just going to listen if that's okay.
Okay, of course, yeah. You can put something in the chat if you have any questions.
Appreciate it.
So we're on to our first plan right now. And this is one that is one of the most popular peptide kind of protocols that you see, and it's all about beauty and skin optimization. So what you really want to be doing in this specific package is targeting processes that drive aging. So that doesn't just come from the kind of external level, but looking at a cellular level to kind of support skin repair, regeneration, and everything that gives that natural glow that people ultimately want to strive towards. There's 3 main peptides that are involved in this, and that's GHKCU, glutathione, and the MOTS-C compound as well. And typically they follow when they're paired together, a 90-day kind of really strong overall effect. We see a great significant skin health and vitality improvement, and they're all kind of heading towards this joint target of skin and beauty.
And I'll add, I'm taking both the MOTS-C and the GHKCU myself, and I found the benefits enormous. MOTS-C for cellular energy, pre-workout and mitochondrial repair, and the GHK for skin, hair, collagen, that type of repair, but from the inside out, not just superficial. It's been great. People have noticed.
You guys have noticed Tony's got that glow that comes from that package. It's just there. And it's yeah, really strong pair that people tend to love. The second plan is the metabolic reset and fat loss, and this again is aimed at a kind of deep cellular level, working with your body's natural systems and what should be working at its most efficient at the deepest level to create a sustainable level of fat loss without, you know, losing any muscle, losing any energy, or draining yourself from your daily life tasks that you need. And the kind of peptides that we're using here are tirzepatide and again the MOTS-C.
And I like that too for color, just because I put this together. This is my favorite. I've lost 32 pounds in 10 weeks, and I didn't have that much to lose, right? I was 220, 5'10", just kind of built like a football player, not a long distance runner, which is what I try to be. So yeah, 30 pounds without any struggle. Just, it's been burning my fat, especially the visceral fat, the tirzepatide, which is the unhealthiest kind. So it's been getting my waist down from the inside, especially. But and the MOTS-C, more energy, more alertness, all of that. And just, you know, you'll notice it was also in the other plan. So I love this. There's some other things you can add to it for increased metabolism and fat loss, but these are the two, I think, the two critical ingredients.
And side effects are minimum, or
with almost everything, the side effects are minimum to nothing. However, the GLP-1s like tirzepatide, because they're affecting your hunger, your appetite, they restrict how fast your stomach digests. It may make you feel a little nauseous, especially if you try to eat greasy foods and drink beer. My beer drinking has gone down like 90%. I crave good food and you know, water and that kind of stuff. That's primarily it. The main things to make sure you do are eat protein and exercise. Because with the exercise, you tell your body to keep your muscles, not your fat. So it's important for signaling. And then with the good food, yeah, you just feel fine on good food, but if you try to sneak a greasy burger in, you're going to feel queasy.
Yeah, and Tony also made a really good point there with the MOTS-C being in both plans, is we'll find that some peptides are really good kind of all-rounders, especially these ones that work at the mitochondrial level to support kind of energy and cell performance. These are some common denominators that you'll find across a few of the plans that do a lot of the heavy lifting and have more of a kind of general approach. Works really well with those more specific peptides like GLP and GHQ that we mentioned before.
Almost every
Sorry. Can I ask why you went with tirzepatide instead of retatrutide?
Yeah, great question. So retatrutide isn't approved by the FDA yet. It's in phase 3 clinical trials. It is doing even better than tirzepatide because it works on 3 receptors. Tirzepatide works on 2. Ozempic works on 1, so that's like 1.0. Tirzepatide is 2.0. Retatrutide is 3.0. It's a little better, 10-20% better, specifically because it burns more fat than tirzepatide. Tirzepatide helps primarily with your appetite and turning your sugar into energy. So you burn more sugar and don't produce less fat. But retatrutide is a little better. We, you know, for our customers, we may be able to get some retatrutide, but it is not, it's for research purposes only. Right?
Thanks for the question, Jamie. We'll go into the next plan now, which is all about injury recovery and prevention. And by now, guys, you should have seen a theme that these three plans have been really quite different in their specific goals. And that's why this is such a valuable thing to have these different plans that you can really target the specific areas you're looking to improve. And for this specific one, we're talking about kind of performance. So injury recovery and prevention. And these peptides are some of the most well-researched in the world. And they're already being used by athletes at the highest level, specifically BPC 157 and TB 500. You see that all the way up to the Olympic level. These peptides have been used for a little while now to really enhance performance. They focus more on the recovery side of things and built for people who want to kind of work at their best capacity across any sport, and not just in the athletic sense as well. It's focused on energy and mental clarity too, that all kind of compounds. So the BPC 157, it's more focused on kind of joint and tissue repair, and it's an anti-inflammatory peptide as well, same as TB 500. So that pairs really well with something like GHKCU, which is focused on collagen production, and with that also supports stuff like wound healing and tissue elasticity. Together, they combine really nicely to create that kind of athletic profile of peptide package.
And I'll add too. So the BBC 157 was really the first peptide I started trying, and it was what got me into it. Was I had a torn meniscus 30 years ago for military service. I was still able to run, still able to work out, but gosh, it was swollen every single time. It was my Achilles heel, except it was a meniscus on my left knee. 30 years injury, 2 weeks of injecting BPC 157 and TB 500 cleared it up. It does not hurt anymore. I can walk downstairs without noticing it. And I'm 55 years old, so I'm gearing up for my next Ironman triathlon. It made a big difference. And then it helped all the other little things get better too. All my almost pulled hamstring that would be kind of sore once in a while. So the recovery after workout, and then the semi-permanent injuries. I mean, it's not going to fix my separated shoulder or anything magic, but I highly recommend it. And like no side effects. It's been well used by surgeons and for post-op recovery. Same with the GHKCU for tissue repair, soft tissue repair. Been used decades in women's skin cream and for a burn recovery victim. So it's really proven. You might get a little tingly when you inject it because it's, that's the only side effect really, but it'll help your hair growth and your skin feel better, look better, and heal better. So people use it for acne scars, that sort of thing, just about everything.
For the BPC 157 and the 500, the TB 500, is that for when we think about treatment? Is that like a long-term treatment, or is this like if you have, let's say, knee injury, like or chondromalacia, for example, from running, is that something that you would feel benefit using just a couple months and then you heal your injury and then you're done with it, or this is a long-term use?
Yeah, great question. It seems to be fine for short-term use to heal the injury. Some people then use it microdosing for recovery if they're still, getting banged up and still, training for something. But most people, it's acute after an injury, Achilles heel tear, something like that. They'll use it for a couple months, get that through, and then they're fine. GHKCU is a little different in that it's more like inside out skin and hair repair. So when you stop using it, just like skin cream, the benefits sort of fade away slowly, but they are a lot stronger and a lot more universal than anything topical. So a good example of two different peptides with two different use cases and profiles as far as whether you want to use them all the time or not. Yeah, great question.
Cool. And you'll find that success stories like Tony's there with healing his injury when it comes to BPC 157 and TB 500, you'll find hundreds, if not thousands, of cases just like that of people using this to prevent their injuries. So we'll go on to the next plan now. This is a little bit of a shift from what we've been discussing previously. This is all about your mental game and your focus. Being able to be a stress-resilient individual who maybe works in intense working environments and wants to perform at their best with the most mental clarity that they can get. We have some peptides that tackle those issues specifically. And again, this is designed for people who are high performers, and they're not just looking to enhance the way they think, they're looking to protect their brain health and their brain functions as well. It's a long-term game and focused on healing from the inside out. So the peptides in use here. So the NAD plus or NAD plus, this is one that has become fairly mainstream, and you see it in a lot of supplement shops, and it pops up again in some other supplements. And the reason for its popularity is because it's so well working. It performs support at a very cellular level, it contributes to cellular energy, and that carries forward to the brain cells as well. It helps with cognitive decline, and helps the brain, which is really the organ which needs the most support. Now, pairing this with peptides like Cmax and glutathione that we mentioned earlier come together to create a package that really supports sustained improvements in your brain activity in the long run. And it even helps with things like emotional balance, memory, and your kind of resilience when it comes to stress as well.
A fun fact about the NAD, you may see that offered over the counter in pills, but many of there's a few of the peptides that will work in pill form, but most of them are broken down by stomach acid, so their bioavailability is way down. They're almost useless when taken orally. And NAD is one of those. You don't want to take a pill, even though they sell them. It's kind of a useless pill. So you have to inject it subcutaneously, and everything here is pretty much subcutaneous. I believe except the glutathione is one you can inject intramuscularly, and it's just as good or maybe even slightly better. So NAD I take, Cmax and Selenk I take as well. Cmax is really for focus, like a smooth focus, but these aren't uppers. They're just clarity makers, and the Selenk helps you sleep better a little bit too. So they combine them both in the same vial for reduction of injections.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. And we'll move on to the final two plans now. And the fifth plan is inflammation reduction. And the more and more studies that come out, the more and more that we can link inflammation to all sorts of issues, whether that's gut, cognitive function, physical performance, injuries, and bodily breakdowns. A lot of the time, the root cause of those issues is inflammation. This kind of exists as like a chronic low-grade inflammation that persists, and if it isn't addressed, can create real long-term issues. So in this package, you'll find a combination of three peptides, which we've already discussed. So the blend of BPC 157 and TB 500, along with GHKCU and tirzepatide. Now, together, in that 90-day period, they're looking to really create a performance and mood reset, tackle that inflammatory baseline that you have and reset it to natural levels so that your body can focus more on getting sleep, on giving you energy for your day, and calming your skin, getting you out of that what can sometimes feel like a funk, something that you can't quite put your finger on, but it exists. So yeah, we have a really cool package here that's designed to just help you feel your best. And for the final package, I think it is best to hand over to Tony here, as we have the CEO personal bundle. This is Tony's personal stack, and yeah, I'm sure he would be very keen to talk you through it.
Yeah, I think all of those I've mentioned briefly in the other packages, but these are all things I take on a weekly basis. Some of them, like the NAD, only needs to be taken per week because the half-life is longer, and that just basically saves an injection. There's no real spike in anything. It's just a calm, feel good acuity. The tirzepatide would also be once a week. All of the GLP-1s have a long half-life, so they're usually once a week. Sometimes people do twice a week, but most of the time once a week. And just about everything is a steady dose, except for the GLP-1s, which people tend to ramp up because they want more weight loss. Those, like the tirzepatide being in the GLP-1s, that were designed for people with obesity. So the clinical studies are pretty aggressive. They go from, in retatrutide, like 1 milligram per week up to 12. I think in the clinical studies it starts at 2 and goes up to 12. Most clinics, including, I think, me personally, would say, hey, start out with 1 the first week, then go to 2, then go to 4. And it's more important not to get nauseous and to have a good experience, I think, than to hit it hard clinically and try to get the highest percentage weight loss the fastest possible, right? So that's how I look at tirzepatide. NAD you can just take once a week, constant. Same with the other ones, GHKCU and Cmax BPC, MOTC. Little factoids with most of those, since they trigger your receptors to produce more of the peptides you're already producing, you want to cycle off of them. You don't want to do them forever necessarily. And that, MOTC being a good example, same with Cmax and Selank. 12-week cycles is usually the average. And for everything except NAD and tirzepatide, most clinicians are recommending the dosages of like 3 to 5 times per week, usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Monday through Friday, and then take the weekends off. So it's nice and easy. If you miss a day, it's not the end of the world. Take your 3-day weekend and don't bring it with you. Although we give a gift basket with a nice refrigerated travel case with it for all of our planned clients.
Great, thanks, Tony. And like we mentioned earlier, the goal here is to really figure out what is your specific focus. So Emerson, we kind of spoke with you about that earlier, and Jamie, you've been listening in, and maybe some of these plans have appealed to you specifically as something that you have been focused on. So there's really something to fit everybody's goals. And to kind of circle back, the goal here is not to be a peptide store. This is a private wellness club. It's not kind of left alone with just the peptides. Every purchase comes with a wearable, like Tony mentioned. Fitbit is what we're going to be sending to track things like sleep and HRV and recovery. Wellness protocols, again, like nutrition and mindset. Luxury welcome box will come with every purchase, and kind of packaged by Tony as well. You're going to get membership with full access to daily fitness classes, more talks like this on specific sports and specific peptides, weekly content, one-to-one coaching, and the 90-day peptide supply from each purchase as well. So guys,
I'll add, really, that's why we offer the 90-day money-back guarantee. If you wear the wearable, go to the coaching, do all this stuff, we guarantee you'll get results. I'll put my own money on it. Right?
And guys, that is the end of our 30 minutes that we have to talk about the 6 peptide plans. And you can find all of them here at shop.longevityplan.ai/programs. The 6 that we've just spoken about today, plus the option to build your own kind of curated packages with the peptides that might jump out to you specifically, if not one that exists in the package. All available now, so feel free to hop on. If you want to talk in a little bit more detail, you can book a consultation call with Tony or I to talk about your specific goals and what might suit you specifically.
And I think the best URL is the contact page on our website to book the consultation call, or do you have your Calendly you can put in the
Yeah.
chat?
So I'll drop my Calendly in the chat now. Yeah.
And you can talk to either one of us. We work as a team here.
Yes, exactly.